It's DTS 65, Iron Banner and Trials are making their glorious return, and there may be a secret room within the King's Fall raid. All that and more coming up.
You're listening to Destiny the Show. Welcome, Guardians.
Bungie yet again has dropped a news bomb on a late Monday afternoon. Regular listeners know that DTS is recorded on Sundays, so what I did here on Monday afternoon is recorded a little bit about this news story because we cannot gloss this over this week. Pretty huge. Tess is coming back to the tower on Tuesday, October 13th. Yes, the same day that Iron Banner is returning as well. And she is bringing with her a new storefront and new items to sell, courtesy of the brand new Eververse trading company. So 18 brand new emotes are going to be for sale initially, and they're going to add more as time goes on. These are like the trio of emotes that were offered by the Taken King Collector's Edition. To get these items, you're going to need to pick up Silver, a new in-game currency that will be available for purchase through the store associated with your console. So yes, this is microtransactions entering the Destiny sphere for new emotes, as well as shaders for your sparrows. And those are the two things they're announcing right now. And they say here, if you're not interested in what Tess has to offer, you won't ever be forced to pluck an item off her shelf. You'll still receive updates to the game, and you won't lose a Crucible encounter or fail to clear a raid because you didn't have the right Eververse Trading Company emote equipped. Their plan is to use these new items to bolster the service provided by their live team for another full year as they grow and create more robust and engaging events that we'll announce later this year. It has been and continues to be our goal to deliver updates to the game. Going forward, our live team is looking to grow beyond vital updates and improvements to focus on world events, experiences, and feature requests. So, let's bundle this all up in a short TLDR. Tess is coming back. She's bringing with her 18 emotes that you can buy. Additionally, you'll be able to buy shaders for your sparrows. The only way to purchase it is with Silver. Silver is bought within the Xbox store or the PlayStation store. We don't know the pricing of it just yet, and we don't know if you're going to be able to earn it at all within in-game activities. Most likely not. These are microtransaction features, the proceeds of which are going to fund the live team whose job is to update Destiny consistently. Kotaku has ran an article already saying they have some sources that they haven't named just yet, saying that Destiny is going to do away with the old DLC model of last year and use the funding from microtransactions to power us through this next year, adding new story, quests, and all sorts of stuff to the game over the course of this next year. But relax, Bungie will tell us all in time. So I would just say, very excited for the emotes. If you don't want to buy them, don't have to. It's totally your option. And it will be very interesting to see how this next year of Destiny goes, because I just can't for a second believe that we're only going to have quest and story updates and no more of these DLCs like House of Wolves and Dark Below. On to the regularly recorded DTS. What's good, everybody? It's BBKDRAGOON. We're here with Destiny the Show number 65. Ditty, how are you doing this week?
Doing very well. It's getting colder in Texas, and I don't like it.
Oh, wow. So it's a balmy 88 degrees today?
You know, it's, let me pull up the weather app, 72.
Today's our first cool day too, man.
I'm in wool socks, sweatpants, and like 3 layers.
What'd you do in the world of Destiny or any other games?
Did a couple raids. I actually got some raid footage recorded, so my raid guides are becoming more of a reality at this point. I just have to script and edit them.
Excellent. Yeah, shout outs to Aviators, Razor, Sassy, and Nacho. We did the King's Fall raid with them yesterday, and that was a ton of fun. I really like that raid, man. It's so much different than what we've done previously, and I was talking with Sassy about it. You can backpack in that raid, and you can, try and put a little bit extra DPS in, but it's so reliant on mechanics for a lot of the fights that there comes a point where if too many people are down, you just can't complete things,
Yeah, the communication between the fire team has to be spot on for almost every single part of that raid, because you do like 3 out of 5 phases, and then you screw up at the end of the 3rd phase, and then the whole thing falls apart. You just have to redo it, and it's it's intense and it's really fun and it's really exciting. I really like what they've done with King's Fall.
So Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris are returning. A quick round of applause.
Yeah.
I've actually missed Iron Banner quite a bit, and I've missed Trials a little bit. I'm excited to see how Trials is going to play now that Thornpocalypse has ended. We're on patch 2.0. It's going to be this fun discovery period again of what the top tier stuff will be. So what is changing with the Iron Banner? It's coming back. Some things are shifting. You'll recognize a lot of it, some of the same old familiar stuff. But how is the tempered buff changing, Ditty?
It's always going to be active. You don't have to buy it anymore, right?
That is awesome. Yeah, it's automatically applied, and it continues to grow in effectiveness each day of the event. So explain the tempered buff to somebody who doesn't know what it is.
It's kind of like a catch-up mechanic. It just speeds up the reputation gains for the Iron Banner, because each Iron Banner you get reset to 0 and you have to grind up to level 5 to get those top tier rewards from Lord Saladin, right? It's gone so long I almost forgot his name. And the tempered buff just helps you increase that reputation gain. And they implemented this buff because, you know, a lot of players are casual Destiny players. They don't play 24/7. They usually can't start playing until Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and they want to get to that level 5 to get those rewards. So the tempered buff will help you reach rank 5 faster the later it is in the week. So say I start Iron Banner on Sunday morning, right? And I can only play on Sunday. It is possible to reach rank 5 on Sunday with a tempered buff active. It's not possible to reach rank 5 on Tuesday when it launches because the tempered buff is not as strong.
Yeah. So it's a really awesome idea if you work during the week and you want to just really grind it hard on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's a good way to catch up. Additionally, there's another catch-up mechanic, and when you're playing on an alt character, right, who's lower reputation than, let's say, your main character, they get a bit of a buff as well, right?
Yeah, it's for people who want to roll multiple Guardians. So I'm main Hunter. I'm going to be doing my Hunter maybe earlier in the week. And then once that, I think it's whatever, like rank 3 or 4, that's when the increase really starts happening. So your account will recognize, oh, hey, he's got a Hunter that's already rank 5, but your Warlock's rank 0. Let's give you a little extra bonus so you can get those end rewards as well. Ow.
Yeah, very cool.
You
slammed the desk.
Ow.
Rewards!
That's just my Sunbreaker hammer being
You're
so
practicing.
OP, right? I'm practicing.
I get it. You're practicing. You don't need practice with that super, Ditty. Potential match completion rewards now include both weapons and armor, matching the same items available from Lord Saladin during each event. What that means is, by completing matches, at the end, and sometimes people get rewards, engrams, coins, there's now the chance to get the weapons and gear that Saladin is actually selling during that particular event. That is really cool, especially if you're going to be running multiple characters. I was pretty excited about that. Additionally, drop rates have been increased and are intended to be the primary source of rewards from Iron Banner. If you don't get what you're hoping for, you have the option to visit Lord Saladin, but essentially, by just playing in the event itself, you're giving yourself more opportunities to win those gear within the matches themselves at the end screen. Right, Ditty?
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think this was the case with last Iron Banners, but I don't think they mentioned it here. Weapons and armor, they'll start dropping at rank 3. So you need to get at least rank 3 in Iron Banner. At least that's how it was in the past. So get to rank 3, that's when the weapons start dropping. So maybe that's when we'll see it.
Also, guys, start saving up your marks now. It's not going to be like previous Iron Banners, in which once you reached a particular rank, you could purchase the gear you wanted from Saladin just using Glimmer. It's now using legendary marks. And it's probably going to be the same pricing scheme as the other weapons that are available from vendors, which is usually 150 marks. So, you'll want to come into this knowing what you want and making sure you have enough legendary marks, since there's a cap of 200. You're going to want to save them up, I would imagine. So, new emblems have been added to Saladin's inventory, and there's new bounties, right, Ditty?
New bounties is always a welcome change. It just changes up the way the game plays. Original Iron Banner was auto rifle headshots, and that was the Suros regime. And then, they implemented, primary weapon headshots, and new bounties, awesome.
9 of them for dailies and 3 new weekly bounties, which is really cool. And the weekly bounties reward legendary marks, which is also pretty cool. The recommended minimum light level for Iron Banner is going to be 230, and you need to be level 40 to lead a fire team in this playlist. So the light level of 230 I find interesting because most of us in our circle of players, Ditty, when we play Crucible, we are all around 290 plus at this point. So I really am curious to see how much of a difference, 230 light between 290 light is going to be when actually attacking and taking damage. What do you think?
Well, remember Iron Banner before update 2.0 came out, level 20s could be an Iron Banner, but that's like they're doing 2 damage per headshot with Thorn, against a level 34 target. And it's going to be a drastic difference all the time. So I think light level 230, yeah, it's going to be recommended minimum, but you're still going to be hurting at that point.
Totally. So let's talk about Trials and Shift Gear. Trials, we forgot to mention what date Iron Banner's coming back on. I think it's October 13th. Man, that's coming up pretty soon here. On the 16th, just a few days later, Trials of Osiris makes its glorious return. Trials gear will now drop exclusively as end-of-match rewards for the winning team. The more you win, the better those drops will be, and there's no need to return to Brother Vance. All of the rewards will come directly to you. What do you make of this, Ditty, and how is this different from the way it was?
Rewarding, good play, and team communication. You win, you get the loot. That's good. I like that, personally.
Do you think if you get your 7 wins and you get the gear that you want, if you continued playing Trials runs, would there be the chance to receive more gear at the end of match rewards then, since we're not having to go to Vance and redeeming our little package for 7 wins?
Well, I think it's going to be a little bit different because there were 2 sets of Trials gear, right? You had the Exile and the Watcher sets. So I think the ones that are going to drop from end of game rewards are going to be a little bit different than the ones we can purchase.
Yep. Interestingly enough, Trials passages will now have a details page that will show the active buffs, and you will not be able to add buffs once you've started your trial run on that card. So you need to buy them first. And we're talking about the, what are they called? The little buffs.
The boons.
Boons, thank you. Yeah. So those need to go on first now, I guess. Players that go undefeated.
I've played with people who would go to 5 wins and then purchase their next win gives you 2 wins or something. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Totally. Players that go undefeated on their passage will continue to the Lighthouse as usual. Players can continue playing in Trials past 9 wins, but they won't get any better gear. What's very interesting, there's Trials bounties that are coming, but basically the new matchmaking system is pretty unique. What are they doing here, Ditty?
They will attempt to match up teams with smaller win counts, right? Is
similar,
that what you're talking about?
Similar win counts.
I can't read today. I don't have my glasses on and the screen's far away.
I knew what
similar
you meant.
win counts. So if I'm 8-0 on my passage, it's going to put me up against another team that's 8-0, and it's make or break at that point. So it's going to be like, oh man, this is intense, and I'm really excited about this because it's just going to make the matches count more. It's going to make that flawless run more prestigious, and that's what their goal is, and I think they're going to hit the nail on the head.
Yep. And the recommended minimum light for Trials is going to be 290. That's not a surprise whatsoever, and only Guardians with a light level of 251 can lead a fire team and start that activity. You guys got featured on Destructoid and the front page of Reddit because you were basically the first people this week. You and a couple other Guardians. It was Nacho
Aura, and Rippin. We didn't do it as one fire team, obviously, because fire team consists of 3, but we were all basically in the same Skype call.
What did you guys do? I didn't say that. Sorry.
Okay, so the thing here was the story mission Paradox, which is where you go into the Vault of Glass and kill the Taken Hydra.
Yes.
The one with Praedyth. I'm just gonna say it. The Praedyth story mission or quest line, whatever. If instead, after you kill the boss, instead of completing the mission, you go down to the jump puzzle in the Vault of Glass, and the platforms, they don't spawn, but you can still get to the bottom. There's a deactivated Vex portal. If you stand on that, someone finishes the mission while a 3rd fire team member is flying in to your fire team. It delays the end of game timer. And so that allows you to wipe and respawn inside the Venus part of the Atheon fight. So whenever Vault of Glass Atheon fight, you get teleported to Venus. That area is filled with Taken, and it just launches this new dialogue and new side quests, and it's awesome.
So you guys literally, what I think this is, I think you guys found one of the secret daily Star Fox mission things we talked about in last week's show. I think you found a hidden, like, part of a quest line that hasn't come yet, or a hidden part of a daily mission that hasn't occurred yet. Now, there's been other community members, you know, King Gathalion made a video just like right after that, encouraging people not to do this glitch and not to glitch into the room just yet. And why so? Like, why is he hesitant towards doing this yet?
A lot of people are hesitant because the items you receive from this are part of, they're like in the middle of a certain quest line that is not available to us yet.
Yes.
So that's like, if you get those items and you get rid of those items before the quest activates, you might not be able to acquire those items again, which will prevent you from receiving those rewards.
You could get hard locked, basically.
You could get hard locked, yeah. Ugh, and so the reason people are saying, you know, this was not intended is because of the third person entering the fire team to delay the end of mission. That's kind of like a network manipulation to force a checkpoint. So it's like, yeah, it's very obviously not the way it was supposed to be found. So once the Paradox mission is the daily story mission, we're going to give it a shot again and see if we can do it.
Yeah. Well, cool. I think it's freaking sweet. And then Destructoid picked up the article on Reddit and ran with it. And it's just cool to see. I mean, I bet for you guys,
I should say we didn't find it. We saw a theory thread on Reddit. There was another fire team that stumbled upon it. Be like, we don't know exactly what we did. Can anybody help? And Nacho, Aura, and I, and Rippin were the first people to confirm it. And so that's when we figured out the steps.
Freaking awesome. So there is some more secret stuff. A few people stumbled into a secret raid room that is around the lamp section of the King's Fall raid. They're not saying how they got there. It's an empty room. It made its way onto the front page of Reddit. And if you want to see pictures or a video of the room, you can check out our website, destinytheshow.com. The link will be there. Apparently, Dotto loaded into this group's fire team and confirmed that this is real and that this room exists. But the people who actually did it either don't know how they did it or they don't want to say. So I am speculating that this has to do with hard mode. And I think that there might be some new routes or maybe new challenges navigating between the boss fights in the King's Fall raid. What do you think, Ditty?
I think so. I think I'm going to do a King's Fall hard mode speculation. I think it would be really awesome if, for instance, like you were talking about different paths, right?
Yeah.
If they completely changed the layout of Golgoroth's maze before his actual boss fight, if they just completely changed that layout, just to totally screw with everybody, that would be awesome. Yeah. And so secrets like this that are popping up here and then, like every now and then, it's just like, is this intended? Are we supposed to find this yet? Or do we need hard mode at this point? And it's like, man, if we can figure out all the raids and all the secrets of the raid, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time.
I just love the whole secret elements of the Taken King so much more. On the Dreadnought, we did the Charged Argonic Rune, or how do you ever say it, whatever. We did that little thing yesterday, and I won't spoil it for those who haven't done it. But it's just cool, man. It's small little details that matter. I think it's time for our brand new segment, DTR Update, where we get news and information from our friends over at Destiny Tracker as they have new features and cool things coming down the pipeline.
Ah, I know you. I know your smell. Did a crow send you? Or Petra, that Prince Aldrin?
So welcome to our new segment, DTR Update. Joining us today is Rippin, who's a community manager and content creator over at DestinyTracker.com. Now, not only does Destiny Tracker offer the best stat tracking features of any site online, they also provide news, forums, and LFG, and an up-to-the-minute gear database for Destiny fans across the entire Guardian universe. And we're going to have him on the show on regular intervals here to keep you guys updated on what's going on with the site. Destiny Tracker's been supporting us for a long, long time. They're an awesome beacon for the community, and they offer a lot of cool things. And Ditty, they've got some new stuff in the future for us, right?
Yeah, I think so. And we'd just like to ask Louis a few questions here. With all that said, is there anything new that's coming to Destiny Tracker in the future, specifically for some Destiny events like Trials, Iron Banner, anything to the database updated?
Definitely. The database hasn't really changed too much in the last few weeks, but we have seen some new Iron Banner gear, and Trials of Osiris gear is looking interesting. But for like updates, it's kind of difficult because Bungie have been a little bit sneaky recently by hiding the database from us, and it's a little bit tricky. And we're definitely looking to make some new Trials of Osiris LFG website kind of changes as well, make it a little bit more integrated, and basically just get feedback from the community. That's the biggest thing. We do read all our tweets, even though we do get several hundred a day. We do genuinely listen to what people have to say. So if you have any suggestions, just send them straight through to us, and we will actually try and implement them the best we can.
Awesome, man. So you mentioned Trials. Trials is showing up this next week. Are you guys doing some changes maybe to the way that you track Trial statistics specifically?
Well, it's Iron Banner first, then Trials of Osiris.
Yeah?
But
Yeah.
we're trying to... Bungie are actually giving us more access to the stats. So before, Iron Banner just kind of showed up as Crucible. It didn't show up as a separate event. It was only Trials of Osiris that did that. With Iron Banner, we are really trying to have like an Iron Banner specific page, so it doesn't just show up as different game types. It's kind of tricky though, because the API does change a lot, and then a small little tweak can ruin everything else. Like, it's really tricky. I don't personally manage the API. Thank you. That's not my job. But if one small like piece of the formula changes, it obviously has a knock-on effect. It's really hard to explain, but we are definitely looking to have some Iron Banner specific pages for everyone to enjoy.
I know we talked last night. There's a new messenger, Ditty. There's a year 2 messenger, and it's like inverted colors. It's like the black and the yellow are swapped, dude. So
That's going to look awesome.
Another cool feature of the Destiny Tracker database. Now, you guys over at Destiny Tracker just had your Choose Your Galaxy giveaway, which seemed to be just like a huge success. You had a ton of people signing up for that. It's over now by the time people are listening to this, but do you have any more special events like this planned in the near future or just coming down the line?
Hopefully. We have nothing confirmed as of yet, but Control Freak, who did this, you know, it was an amazing partnership, and we do hope in the future we can do giveaways. Maybe not always to this scale, because this one was huge. But, you know, if we can give away something small, then that's absolutely fantastic. We get a lot of support, and if we can give it back, we always try to with giveaways or any other thing that we can manage to do.
So with Destiny Tracker being the amazing stat tracking website that it is, how can community members stay up to date with the latest updates to Destiny Tracker?
This is where we plug our social media. So what? Honestly, get in touch with us on Twitter. It's at Destiny Track. It's not Destiny Tracker on Twitter. It is at Destiny Track. Or YouTube. We are really working hard on our YouTube this month. It's been really taking off. So at Destiny Tracker on YouTube or Destiny Track on Twitter. Or we do have a chat box on the website, and we do actually moderate there and keep any information that people send us. And basically just message us. We are listening. We are actually listening to people. We're not that, we're not horrible. We are here. Listen to us, send us messages, and we will do what we can to answer your questions.
Nice. Well, I think you answered my last question, which was, are there any ways DTR community members can suggest new features? And even when we were talking about Iron Banners and your Trials updates, a lot of that feedback is coming from the community itself, giving you guys ideas as to what you can maybe do, and then trying it out in the API to see if it works and coming back with something new. Is that right?
That's true. I mean, we have a Skype chat, and we do talk on there. And when people mention things, I'm always jotting it down if it sounds like a good idea. And, we had one of our friends, Sassy, draw our new Trials of Osiris page because we had way too much information on there. People were not using some of the stats. So Sassy went in, he deleted what he thinks isn't a very good idea, like average kill distance. Does it really matter? Make it clean, and, everyone helps. If someone sends a screenshot to us of what they want to see, we can try and accommodate that the best we can. And that's, just get in touch with us, guys.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Ripon, for hopping on with us. Where can people find you specifically on Twitter? And we're looking forward to having you on again in the road, keeping us up to date with what's coming down the tube for Destiny Tracker.
Yeah, I'm definitely up for coming on whenever we need to get on here. It's a bit of fun. I'm a little bit nervous, so sorry if anyone doesn't quite get my accent, but I will work on it, I promise. My Twitter is @Ripon, which is RHIPPIN, and it's the same on YouTube as well for people who are interested in Crucible gameplays.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk with you next time.
Take care, guys.
Salvaged relic data is now decrypted. Not of consequence.
Evening, Guardian. Earn your honor, Guardian.
Titan survey data requested by...
So Ditty, Iron Banner is making its return, as is Trials. We talked a little bit about it earlier. I held myself back from asking you more questions. What weapons and loadouts do you think are going to succeed within Trials and Iron Banner? If we can just do some speculation, we could be 100% wrong, but I think this would be an interesting conversation to have, and extend this out to our listeners as well, and have them give us their opinions and feedback over on @DestinyTheShow on Twitter. So what do you think?
So I'm going to start off by saying I think there will be some overlap in terms of weapon loadouts, but I also think that, there's going to be some weapons that do a lot better in Trials over Iron Banner and vice versa.
Because smaller fire teams make a huge difference.
And the nature of the game type. With Elimination, I'll start with Trials first. So Elimination is a game mode where if I see you first, I have the advantage and I'm most likely going to win. Because it's going to be like that one-shot sniper kill or that rocket to the face. If I can instantly take you out, my fire team immediately has an advantage, right? So the faster kill time weapons are obviously going to have more of an impact there. Yeah. Whereas you have Iron Banner, it's a fluid game type, right? It's going to continue on whether you die or not, and it's going to be more about sustained damage or sustained gunfights throughout the match, right? So for Trials, I'm going to say Hawkmoon, Red Death. I think everybody's going to expect that because, Red Death is just such a good pulse rifle. Medium impact, medium rate of fire. It's just a good overall weapon. Plus with the health regeneration, that just makes players a lot tankier in terms of, sustained fighting, right? So say I turn the corner and there's two of you there. Oh no, I have my Red Death. I kill the first one, my health immediately regenerates. I have that slight advantage that I wouldn't have otherwise had versus that second opponent.
Absolutely. And by the way, we are, of course, talking about the Year 2 variants of these exotic weapons because this is the level advantaged playlists turn on. So,
right. And I think one important factor to the Trials weapon loadouts is obviously going to be the map. With a map like Widow's Court, it's very long range, so I'm not going to want to use the last word, right? I'm just not, because long-range engagements are not going to be favorable on that match. That's not to say that they're not going to be effective, because, you might be able to make it work, but it's not going to be favorable. And with Hawkmoon, it has Hammer Forged on it, which increases its range, and the Luck in the Chamber procs with the Holding Aces procs as well, and the ability for those to stack. You can get a 2-shot off pretty frequently now. I think that's going to be... It's going to take opponents by surprise if you can do 114 damage with one shot.
I just had a really horrible, horrible thought, Ditty. Memento in Trials.
It's going to happen first week.
I bet you the first week is going to be Memento Trial. Just so you don't know, I mean, if you don't know, I don't like Memento very much as a map. I think it's okay, but oh man.
Vertigo too.
Vertigo will be I've come to like Vertigo quite a bit, to be honest with you. The teleporter thing is so just underused right now, but anyway, off topic. I think, if we're just talking, I think Hawkmoon, of course, Year 2, Red Death, of course, but I want to look maybe some at the vendor weapons, right? I think the 1,000-yard stare sniper rifle is going to become pretty common for Guardians because it's easy to pick up. You can buy it from the Vanguard, and it's not a bad sniper rifle, right? It's decent, and you can work your way around with it. For Iron Banner, I think Hawksaw is going to be awesome. I did a review of that weapon this week. It is kind of like a time on target. It's high rate of fire, low impact, but it's a really fun pulse rifle to use. It's not going to outshoot a good Red Death player. It's not going to outshoot a good Messenger player. but it is a lot of fun. I guess Messenger won't be showing up, though, so scratch that. There's a hand cannon that the Crucible Quartermaster sells called Byronic Hero, which is going to be a really good option for people who don't have a Hawkmoon, who want to play with a hand cannon style. It's basically like Up the Ante, which was the House of Wolves Crucible Quartermaster hand cannon, and it's just balanced, right? You can get Third Eye on it, you can get Hammer Forged on it. It's a cool little gun, and I think it has 8 shots in it, and that'll surprise people, to be honest with you. What is the rocket launcher called that everybody loves? The Vertigo? Do you know what I'm talking about? The Future War Cult rocket launcher?
I think so.
I think that's going to be a really common rocket. And then I've also heard the Villainy, which is the pulse rifle from Future War Cult, is supposedly a pretty decent.
I hear that one's really good, yeah.
Yeah, so... Oh, Tlaloc. I think Tlaloc is going to be freaking sweet, dude. That is the Warlock scout rifle.
Yeah, from the Gunsmith, rank 3. I think we're overlooking a big thing here.
Yeah.
Let's forget specific weapons entirely and think weapon foundries. Because with the Suros, you have 1 perk with 2 stat changing perks, right? So I have I have crowd control with injection mold for more stability and small bore for more range, something like that. But then you have the Hake weapons, right? I can have crowd control and glass half full. Both give me a damage bonus with injection mold, perfect balance, whatever, with a stat changing perk. The weapons with multiple perks, if I can have, this is not likely anymore because they've changed the perks, but the pulse rifle time on target is so strong. It has reactive reload and head seeker, right? Those 2 perks in tandem, there's a reason why they removed that from the pulse rifle pool, because it's just so powerful. But if I have 2 perks that work really well in synergy with one another, I'm going to have that advantage over that person with the Hawkeye or the Hawksaw with just rodeo or perfect balance or counterbalance, because I have damage boosting perks and 2 of them, and you only have 1, and it only changes your stats. I think that's going to come into play as well.
Weapons are certainly more rare if you've got one of those sweet roll, like all these vendor weapons I just mentioned, by the way, can drop with a totally different set of perks than what they sell with, and so it's interesting. You don't have reforging to where you can get that perfect roll. I'm really looking forward to this Iron Banner. In closing, Ditty, what do you think it's going to be like in terms of trials? Do you think it's going to be harder?
Absolutely. I would say it's going to be a lot harder to go flawless. I would say expect a lot of butthurt from the Hawkmoon because it's going to be so prevalent, and it's going to be like, this is BS. He 2-shot me. That's so lucky, and that's the only reason I lost that gunfight. I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah. I got the proc last night of Hawkmoon where it's like, oh my gosh. You just get hit with that one shot and you're like, jeez.
Yeah. Before the weapon update 2.0, I was playing on the PlayStation and I got one shot by the Hawkmoon a few times. I was like, wow, this gun is
You know how ridiculous
crap.
of a chance that is to happen, by the way? Like all that stuff. Well,
that's why they patched it.
That's why they do. Where can people find your content?
Twitter.com/Ditty DTS, DITTY DTS, and YouTube.com/Wooshness, WOOOSHNESS.
Excellent. Are you going to be streaming it all this week?
I don't think so, but maybe we can get a weekend stream going.
Possibly so. And I'm trying my best. I might be able to stream over there pretty soon. Our twitch.tv/Destiny the Show has been pretty active over the last month, so you should follow us there. Follow us on Twitter at Destiny the Show. Head to destinytheshow.com for all the links from today and more. You can follow me at BBKDRAGOON on Twitter or youtube.com/BBKDRAGOON. Guardians, thank you so much for the support across our entire community. Ditty and I extend our gratitude to you for the support and keeping this something really fun that we like to do each and every week. Good luck, and we'll talk with you next time.